welcome to the Derby debrief from RamsTV, live from Pride Park Stadium. Owen Bradley with former Rams captain Shaun alongside, here to bring you reaction to a bit of a frustrating afternoon for Derby. They picked up another point but failed to beat Shrewsbury. Results opened the door for them elsewhere as well. Take you through all of those and show you the table before we leave you. Derby are still second in League One, but 6 points behind leaders Portsmouth now. All that to come. You'll hear from head coach Paul Warne and from goal scorer today, Max Bird as well. But an 88th minute equaliser from Aaron Pierre denied the Rams a victory at home this afternoon. Shaun, what was your assessment of it?
Well, you can't ignore the disappointment at the end of the game. It wasn't a pretty game in the first 45 minutes. There was no real chances. There wasn't any real flow to the match. Second half, we seemed to galvanise ourselves a little bit, started creating some chances, obviously got ourselves ahead, and then it was about the game management in the final few minutes, and that's the disappointment. You look at some of the results and the opportunity that was there to give ourselves a little bit of a gap, and it was there for the taking. It wasn't going to be a pretty game, but at the end you hope to walk away with all 3 points, and that lapse of concentration, that moment of switching off in right at the death, cost us those 2 points. So disappointing. There's going to be games where it's not going to be pretty and not going to be the free-flowing football we have seen here at Pride Park, but if you get over the line with 3 points, you're happy, and unfortunately we didn't do enough over the 90 to get that today.
Derby held on last week to win 1-0 at Charlton. They don't hang on today. Was the difference just that one moment when Derby went to sleep?
Well, if you look back at the game, I think it was Shrewsbury's only real clear-cut chance. They had a strike maybe 2 or 3 minutes after that where Joe Wildsmith made a save, but Joe was uneventful in that goal. He had very little to do. I wouldn't say we had control of the game, but we just never allowed Shrewsbury to have an attacking threat. Then when you get yourself in front, it's about keep the foot on the gas, make them feel the pressure of being away from home and conceding. We didn't do that. We allowed them to gain a little bit of confidence, a little bit of belief, and it was just such a sloppy goal to concede right at the death. At that stage of the game, physically you're tired, mentally you're tired, but you have to stay switched on, and it was a throw-in. I think it was between Colo and Wilson that they allowed the player to get into the box, and it was a free shot from 8 or 9 yards out. It was a terrible goal to concede, especially the time and the manner of it.
Let's get some reaction from downstairs. Here's how Paul Warne, the Derby head coach, is feeling after this one.
Well, obviously when you concede late on, it feels like 2 points dropped, and now it's had a chance right at the end. We hit the crossbar and the keeper makes a save, so it does feel like it's 2 points dropped. And I'm not saying our performance deserved all 3. I didn't think we were outstanding, but it's my fault 100% first half. We got the shape wrong. Obviously Cash was missing, so I had to work out how we would look defensively sound, and obviously we played that shape last week, which was good away from home, but at home we didn't just have enough impetus out wide on either side really. I don't think Sibbs put any crosses in. Warne, I don't think put any crosses in, so it sort of stunted the lads a bit, so I've apologised to him in the dressing room. That's my fault. So we changed the system after 35 minutes, looked a bit more like us. I thought we started the second half a lot more like us. We're always a lot more dynamic going that way as well. But so I just thought we were a lot better second half. But we scored the goal, and then we just needed the second goal. I mentioned it to my coaches after about 65 minutes. Look, we need another goal here because they're going to get a chance at something, and that's how random League One is at times. But to concede off a throw-in is hugely disappointing. We obviously were forced into certain changes. Ryan sort of felt the outside of his knee. He was a bit sore, so it's not ideal changing your right back with 10 minutes to go. And Ebbs had like cramp, so again can't really risk that. So they were sort of forced really, but apart from the chance, I didn't really feel like they created a great deal, although, they're going to put balls in the box. But we defended the set pieces really well, which was pleasing. But then, like I said, to concede was difficult pill to swallow. I just felt that second half we were better, but not as good as I would like. And we didn't play. I just felt like after we went 1-0 up, we had about 20 minutes where it felt like and looked like to me that we played with a bit of fear. Which I don't enjoy to watch. So after they scored, it was like all of a sudden we were fearless again and created things. I know the game changes, but I just didn't. I've said it a few times this season. I just didn't think we played with enough personality second half.
A mindset thing, then. You want to be a little bit more positive when you go in front.
Yeah, really, and keep getting on the ball. And obviously, I thought our out-of-possession stuff was pretty good, because I don't think they really had a shot from inside the box. So that was good. I just felt that when we had the ball, we had to show a bit more personality. There were pockets of it, obviously, and I'm not saying that you have any right to dominate oppositions, because you don't. And if you look at all the results around the league today, there's, you know, points being dropped everywhere. But weirdly, that's why it feels harder to take, because if you do win today, it looks even greater, doesn't it? So that's the disappointing part. But, you know, another game pretty quickly. I don't know if Exeter beat Wigan in the end. I thought they were winning, so that there'll be tough opposition midweek, and our standards will have to be higher to win away from home. So overall, obviously, it's of disappointment. However, it is a point closer to where we want to be, but I think we need to win 10 games, and that was a good opportunity that we've let slip today. Respect to Shrewsbury. They kept going and got the goal they wanted.
A set-piece goal for you, was that drawn up by Hammy on the training ground?
Yeah, the lads have been good at set-pieces. In fairness, in training this week, we've done them against the youth team yesterday, so thank Bucko and that for letting us use them. So we just looked a bit more dynamic. I know we've done a short one which didn't go down so great, but generally speaking, we look good off corners and free kicks today. I did. But we just didn't create enough in open play, really. I can't come away and say, well, we had 10 attempts on goal and they had 1. It didn't feel like that, and that was probably the disappointing part of our play. I just didn't think we were, we didn't create enough chances to be handsomely in the lead, if that makes sense.
Home debut for Ibu Adams today, man of the match again. It sounds as though, excuse me, the home fans have taken to him very quickly.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't decide if they were booing him or saying "Ibu." It's difficult to know sometimes. And obviously he's disappointed that he comes off. But you cramp up, there's a good chance the next thing you're going to do is tweak your muscles. So that's disappointing, and he adds a bit of steel in our midfield, which we need. And really pleased for him. I think he's doing really well, and he's a good addition. But I mean, he's heartbroken that we're throwing points away, which is a good sign.
He's very expressive on the pitch when he does something that he's not happy with. You see it straight away from his reaction. Have you seen that?
No, not really. What I did see last week was when we had a little tete-a-tete with the defender, and he decided to tell him he wasn't best pleased on the halfway line. I loved that. So you shouldn't be a shrinking violet on a football pitch. Sometimes there's a bit of calm, sometimes there's a bit of war. Even more so in this league. So I like the way he stands in his corner, and and he done his role today on attacking set pieces. He done really well on with his blocks and that. So that's pleasing. So yeah, really, there's really good things, but unfortunately, it's always about the 3 points, and today we didn't get it.
And just a bit of housekeeping to finish. You mentioned Aaron Cashin, not involved today. Josh Vickers not involved either. How are they?
Josh Vickers has got a problem with his quad. He'll be out for a period of time, I think. Cash was sore at the game at Charlton. Right at the end, he felt his hammy tighten up. He was sore Sunday, Monday, but then he's been fine since then. If it would have been the playoff final or the last game of the season, the win to go up or something, it would have been a risk possibly worth taking. But as it is, if I played him today and he was out for 8 weeks, I'd look like a lunatic. So take advice off the medical team, and they just wanted to leave it for this game. So he should be fine for Exeter.
That's Derby head coach Paul Warne. Some hopefully encouraging news about Aaron Cashin. We'll see if he's back in time for Tuesday's trip to Exeter. You'll hear from Derby's goal scorer this afternoon, Max Bird, in a moment or two as well. Let's start there. Shaun took the goal very well. He's talked a lot about this season. You'll hear from him say it again, wanting to add goals, wanting to add assists to his game. 4 for the campaign now, I think. He's starting to get there.
Yeah, we've seen him kind of flirt in different positions in terms of being deeper to get on the ball at times when Harahan needs support, or maybe Harahan hasn't played, which he's very comfortable at, and predominantly done that in a Derby shirt. This season, we've seen Paul ask him to play that little bit higher and find little pockets of space to be able to turn and play forward. He has got the quality. He's got that little detail in the final third, and it was a well-taken goal this afternoon. And we talk about professionalism. We know he's moving on, but he's stayed at Derby from now until the end of the season. He wants to achieve his objective, which is to get this club promoted back into the Championship. And he's doing his bit. I think the last couple of games he's shown his worth, his value, and of course he came up with a goal that we hoped would have been up for all 3 points.
On the flip side, and we got a hint of it from Paul Warne there, the attention to detail that they have on set pieces, on throw-ins as well, and the goal conceded comes from a throw-in, which will really sting for them. But there's always a couple of mistakes generally when you concede a goal, and that's what we seem to see today with Aaron Pierre's equaliser.
Yeah, you can sometimes hold your hands up if it's a worldy goal there's nothing really to look at to see how you could have done better. As a manager, you will always find the part of the start of that maybe sequence. It could have been higher up the pitch. It might have been someone not pressing correctly, but it's often quite easy to see the disappointment when you concede. And I think at that point, coming from a throw, only a couple of minutes remaining of the game, and for it to be that easy for Benning to get into the box, pretty much unopposed, to pick out the man Pierre 8 yards out, was far too easy. And if you think how hard we had to work to get the goal, Paul mentioned there wasn't too many chances in open play. He was happy with how set pieces looked for us and thought we looked a threat. Excuse me. We get our nose in front through a set piece, and then you switch off in such a critical moment, critical time in the season, especially when results are going your way. That's the disappointment, that we hadn't got enough to go and get the second and score freely. So then the detail to defend set pieces, defend moments where Shrewsbury's in your final third. One moment of a lapse of concentration has cost us, and we only get the 1 point.
Joe Wildsmith made another save not long after, but Derby were the side that looked more likely to win it late on. It was a shame we didn't see that sort of impetus from them earlier in the game. Yes, there were chances here or there. Conor Harahan, a free kick save as an example, but it wasn't really until the final minute that they really started to go for Shrewsbury, it felt like.
Yeah, but when you've got the goal and you're limited to how many chances there are in a game, and you know the game's not that kind of open game where there's chances galore and you dominate in possession and it's very one-sided. When it's not like that, you kind of have to bide your time and you get your goal. As long as you defend well and you stay switched on, you get all 3 points. It became desperate in the last few minutes because Shrewsbury are happy to hold on to that point at that point. We were putting men forward, so Sonny Bradley was staying forward, Nels was staying forward from every opportunity, set pieces, ball going back into the box. And you automatically become a little bit more frantic and just get the ball into the danger area. I think that's how Paul wants to play in general. He wants to get balls wide, he wants to put defenders under pressure, and that last few minutes when you're hanging on to either a clean sheet or a result away from home, the home team often puts that pressure on. So it's the kind of state of the game. It wasn't a great game of football. Neither team controlled the game in possession. So it felt like a goal would be enough. And the disappointment will be that one set piece, that moment of magic in terms of how they set it up and the finish from Bird wasn't everything that needed to happen to get the 3 points. We let our guard down and we got punished.
Let's get some more reaction. Here's the goal scorer, Max Bird.
Yeah, 100%. I feel as though we took the game away, really, didn't we? I think poor goal to concede, wasn't the best of games again. I thought we could have been a bit more brave, showed a bit more courage to get on the ball, and look, we found a way to get in front, take the lead, but obviously we just couldn't keep hold of it, and it's a disappointing result in the end, really.
Take a moment to reflect on the goal. Taken well by you. Is that one that's been worked on at Moor Farm?
That's what Natty said, yeah. But no, I think look, I was in the right place, right time, and I've been practicing a lot of finishing recently. Obviously, I've spoken in countless interviews about me adding numbers to my game, and I'm going to continue to try and do that. And for the past month, really, the gaffer's been taking me away and doing individual shooting. And yesterday we did some sort of cutbacks, and I just caught it well, really. But look, at the end of the day, it gets us a point and not 3, which we should have had.
Was today a perfect example of why you need that second goal?
Yeah, definitely. I think second goal's so important, especially at home. Lots of teams will come here and have a back 5 but also have that bit more enthusiasm because they're coming to Pride Park, they're playing Derby County. So, look, I think, like I say, it's a poor goal to concede. We're still in a good position. We've got a big game Tuesday. Every game's big now until the end of the season. So we'll go to Exeter, we'll rest up, we'll have a look back at the game and see where we can improve and maybe change some things for the game Tuesday, and then look, we'll try and get 3 points there like we try every game.
I want to ask you about a new teammate. Ebou Adams has been next to you for the last couple of games now. He seems to have settled in well.
Yeah, he has. Great lad, great player, settled in really well like you've said, and you can probably see that in his performances. You know, he's helped me a lot, freed me up a bit. I can play a bit higher up, and especially last week, not so much today, but take the ball on the back foot and start driving at teams. And you know, we'll try and build a good relationship. I'm building a good one with Colo at the minute. I've obviously got a really good one with Mendes as well. So look, he's come in, settled in really well. Great lad and a great addition to the squad.
When you look around that room, do you see enough, you think, in there to get to where you want to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone does. Everyone's in the same boat. Everyone wants to get promoted in the top two. We don't want playoffs. We want to get up top two. Because we know we can do it. We knew that results were going our way today, and you know, it's a disappointing result in the end for us. But we can't dwell. We've got the big thing as a footballer is that when you get a game Tuesday, it helps you a lot. You almost have no other choice but to move on and go again. So we'll go to Exeter and we'll try our hardest to get 3 points.
That's Derby's goal scorer this afternoon, Max Bird. Yeah, it wasn't a bad day for Derby. Results elsewhere. Barnsley did stop the Leyton Orient train. They came from behind to win in that one. A couple of late goals, despite the fact they had Luca Connell sent off with a minute to go in normal time. Oxford dropping points, held away at Blackpool. Portsmouth, the leaders, did win. Left it till midway through the second half to get the goal that they needed away at bottom of the table, Carlisle. Bolton got a late equaliser as well. The 10 men of Bolton, that is, who came from behind to draw at Northampton. Stevenage trailed for a long time, then led, then conceded a 98th minute penalty away at Port Vale. 2-2 it finished there. Probably the most important result of the day. Elsewhere from Derby's perspective, Peterborough did their best to stage a comeback but lost 5-2 away at Wycombe. Not been a great week at all for Posh. This is the table then. Portsmouth, the leaders, extend their lead to 6 points over Derby, 7 over Bolton. It's Bolton with the games in hand. Barnsley fourth now, Peterborough slipping to fifth, Stevenage still in the top 6. And at the other ends, Shrewsbury still 3 points clear of the bottom 4. Charlton look like they are in real trouble. Port Vale and Cheltenham with games in hand below them. That's all from us for now. If you want more reaction to today's game, it'll be on the website, dcfc.co.uk. That's where you can buy your match passes for Tuesday night as well, and Derby's trip to Exeter, which is available on RamsTV. Me, Barks and the team, we'll see you then. Goodbye.
Will he get there? He will. Chance for Mendes.